You ever felt trapped, with nowhere to run, facing an impossible situation? It's a feeling we all know. But what if I told you about a time when an entire nation faced this, with an army at their back and an impassable sea before them? This is the incredible story of Moses and the crossing of the Red Sea, a tale of faith, desperation, and a miracle that has echoed through millennia. Let's set the scene. The Israelites, after generations of brutal slavery in Egypt, have finally been set free, led by a man named Moses, who was chosen by God for this monumental task. They are on their way to a promised land, a land of freedom and new beginnings. But their journey is far from over. In fact, the most dangerous part is just beginning. Imagine the sheer number of people. We're not talking about a small group. This was an entire nation on the move. Hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions of men, women and children, along with their livestock and whatever belongings they could carry. They had just witnessed 10 devastating plagues that God brought upon Egypt, each one a powerful demonstration designed to break the will of the stubborn Pharaoh. The final, most heartbreaking plague, the death of the firstborn, finally convinced Pharaoh to let the Israelites go. So, they leave. They march out of Egypt, not as slaves, but as a free people. The air is filled with a mix of excitement, uncertainty, and overwhelming relief. For the first time in centuries, they are masters of their own destiny. God doesn't lead them on the most direct route, the one that would take them along the coast. Instead, he guides them by a pillar of cloud during the day and a pillar of fire at night, leading them south, towards the vast expanse of the Red Sea. This seems like a strange detour, but as we'll see, there's a divine purpose behind every step. Back in Egypt, Pharaoh is having second thoughts. His massive workforce is gone, his pride is wounded. His grief over his own son's death turns into rage and a thirst for revenge. He looks at his advisors and says, "What have we done? We've let the Israelites go from serving us." The decision is made. He summons his army, the most formidable military machine of the ancient world. We're talking about 600 of his best chariots, elite fighting units, along with all the other chariots and soldiers of Egypt, an unstoppable force thundering across the desert in pursuit. Meanwhile, the Israelites have reached the edge of the Red Sea. They make camp, thinking they have a moment to breathe, but then they see it, a dust cloud on the horizon growing larger and larger. The ground begins to tremble with the pounding of hooves and the rumble of chariot wheels. It's Pharaoh's army. Panic erupts. Pure, unadulterated terror sweeps through the camp. Look at their situation. In front of them, the deep, churning waters of the Red Sea. Behind them, the full might of the Egyptian army, armed to the teeth and bent on dragging them back to slavery or worse. They are completely and utterly trapped. There is no escape. The people turn on Moses, their fear turning to anger. They cry out, "Was it because there were no graves in Egypt that you brought us to the desert to die? What have you done to us by bringing us out of Egypt? It would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the desert." Can you feel their despair? Their newfound freedom seems like a cruel joke. They've gone from the frying pan straight into the fire. Moses himself must have felt an immense weight on his shoulders. The lives of his entire people are in his hands, and they are on the brink of annihilation. But in this moment of supreme crisis, Moses doesn't panic. He turns to God, the one who brought them this far. And Moses' response to the terrified crowd is one of the most powerful declarations of faith in history. He tells the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Be still." Imagine hearing those words with a ruthless army bearing down on you. It seems insane, but it's a call to shift their focus from the impossible circumstances to the God who makes the impossible possible. And then God speaks to Moses. "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move on. Raise your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea to divide the water so that the Israelites can go through the sea on dry ground." As night falls, a strange thing happens. The pillar of cloud that had been leading the Israelites moves. It goes from being in front of them to behind them. positioning itself directly between the camp of Israel and the pursuing Egyptian army. For the Israelites, it continues to provide light, but for the Egyptians, it becomes a thick, impenetrable darkness. It's a divine barrier, holding the enemy at bay, buying precious time. Then comes the moment that has captivated the human imagination for centuries. Moses stands at the edge of the water, raises his staff, and stretches his hand out over the Red Sea. All through that night, the Bible says a strong east wind blows. It's not just a gentle breeze, it's a powerful supernatural gale that begins to push the waters back. Slowly, miraculously, the waters begin to part. They don't just recede, they are driven apart, forming two massive walls of water, one on the right and one on the left. And in between, the seabed becomes dry land. A path has been made where no path existed. Under the light of the pillar of fire, Moses leads the people forward. Can you imagine the scene? Walking on the ocean floor with colossal walls of water towering over you on either side. You could probably see fish and sea creatures suspended in the liquid walls. The sound must have been deafening. The roaring wind and the groaning of the sea held back by an invisible hand. It would have taken immense courage to take that first step, to trust that those walls of water wouldn't come crashing down. But they follow Moses, their fear replaced by awe. The entire nation, men, women, children, and their animals, walks through the heart of the sea on dry ground. The Egyptians, shrouded in darkness and confusion, hear the Israelites moving. As dawn approaches, the darkness lifts enough for them to see the impossible. Their prey is escaping through the middle of the sea. Consumed by their rage and arrogance, Pharaoh and his army don't hesitate. They charge into the sea passage in pursuit. They are confident in their chariots, their horses, their military might. They see the same path the Israelites took, and they assume it's for them as well. But they are not God's chosen people. They are the pursuers, the oppressors, and their technology, their pride and joy becomes their undoing. The wheels of their chariots get stuck in the mud of the seabed. The divine path that was dry for the Israelites becomes a quagmire for their enemies. Panic sets in among the Egyptian soldiers. They shout, "Let's get away from the Israelites. The Lord is fighting for them against Egypt." They finally realize they are not fighting against a band of escaped slaves. They are fighting against God himself. But it's too late. By this time, the last of the Israelites has reached the safety of the far shore. They turn back and watch. God tells Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the sea so that the waters may flow back over the Egyptians and their chariots and horsemen." Moses obeys. He stretches out his hand, and as the morning light breaks, the sea begins to return to its normal state. The towering walls of water collapse. The full unstoppable force of the Red Sea crashes down upon the entire Egyptian army. The chariots, the horsemen, Pharaoh's elite guard, all of them are swept away, consumed by the churning waves. The Bible describes the scene with stark finality. Not one of them survived. When the sun was fully up, the Israelites saw the bodies of their former masters washed up on the seashore. The mighty army that had terrorized them for generations was gone, utterly defeated, not by an opposing army, but by the power of God. The deliverance was complete. On that shore, facing the sea that had been both their barrier and their salvation, the Israelites were truly free. Their fear turned into jubilant celebration. Miriam, Moses' sister, takes a tambourine and leads the women in a song and dance of victory. The people sing a song to the Lord, praising him for his triumph, for throwing the horse and rider into the sea. It's a moment of pure, unadulterated joy and worship. The crossing of the Red Sea is more than just a historical event or a fantastic miracle. It's a story about the nature of faith. It teaches us that even when we are cornered, when the odds are completely stacked against us, when we see no way out, there is still hope. It's a powerful reminder that our perspective is limited, but God's power is not. The path to deliverance often appears in the most unexpected and impossible of places. This event became a cornerstone of Israel's identity. It was the story they would tell their children and their children's children for generations to come, a constant reminder of God's faithfulness and his power to save. And for people of faith today, it remains a source of immense encouragement. Whatever Red Sea you might be facing in your own life, Whether it's a financial crisis, a health issue, a broken relationship, or a mountain of doubt, this story calls us to be still and trust that the same God who parted the waters for the Israelites is still at work in our lives today. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey back in time. If this story moved you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the most powerful stories ever told. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What does this story mean to you? Until next time, stand firm and keep the faith.